Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, as you see right now, the trucking industry is getting very desperate. And it amazes me the number of people who don't realize just how much we depend on the trucking industry, the shipping industry, the railways, all forms of transportation to get things to and fro in the earth, including the airline industry. All of these systems are falling apart. And that means a great deal to all of us. That means the supply chain that we've all come to depend on is falling apart. And so I want to share with you some details of how the trucking industry is getting very desperate. They are right now saying that they're short by 80,000 drivers, that they are in need of 80,000 drivers. As you listen to the details of this, you're going to see exactly what I mean when I say they are getting desperate. Okay, so I'm going to let you hear the details of their situation right now, and I will be right back.
The trucking industry is short 80,000 drivers, a record high, Chris Spear, president and CEO of the American Trucking Associations, tells CNN. That's a 30% increase from before the pandemic, when the industry already faced a labor shortage of 61,500 drivers. That's a pretty big spike, Spear added. Many drivers are retiring, dropping out of the industry. Increased consumer demand, prompting a need for more drivers, also plays a big role in the shortfall. This comes at a time when U.S. ports are backlogged primarily because there are few trucks and drivers to pick up cargo, creating a supply chain slowdown. President Biden directed the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach to move to 24/7 operations. However, the ports can't yet work round the clock, because importers don't have enough drivers to move their cargo at all hours. 24/7 operations, it's an improvement, said Spear. But it doesn't matter if it's a port in LA or Long Beach, or the last mile of delivery from a train to a warehouse in Wichita. You're going to have a driver and a truck move that freight. Truck drivers move 71% of the U.S. economy's goods, but represent just 4% of the vehicles on the roads, said Spear. If nothing is done, the latest figures put the industry on track for a shortage of 160,000 drivers by 2030, and the need for 1 million new drivers over the next 10 years, according to the American Trucking Associations. The bipartisan infrastructure bill awaiting action in Congress would authorize hundreds of billions of dollars for transportation, which would include workforce development for the trucking industry. That would allow 3,000 drivers between the ages of 18 to 20 to undergoing training, permitting them to drive tractor-trailers across state lines. Currently, drivers must be 21 to do so. Spear believes younger drivers are the key answer to the labor shortage. I think that clearly is the most impactful thing that could be done right now to alleviate this problem. So next year, we are not going to be having this conversation because it will alleviate itself because we're investing, said Spear.
Okay, so I am going to be quite frank with you right now. I'm going to be very honest right here when I say this. No offense to anyone, but one of the things that stuck out to me in what they were reporting is that they are now considering drivers as young as 18 years old. That stuck out to me. Let me tell you something. Most 18-year-olds are not experienced drivers, and so you know things are getting desperate if the trucking industry is thinking about lowering that age to 18. So look at that truck on the screen there. You have young people who just don't know how to handle a small vehicle. Do you want an 18-year-old behind something that big on the road next to you, in front of you, behind you? I'm sorry if someone is offended by that, but this shows me how serious things are getting because they are starting to lower their requirements. Okay, most drivers have years of experience before they get out on the road. And so how much experience can an 18-year-old get? So again, for me, it shows that the system is all about the dollar. I know that they want to meet the demands of the people, but when meeting the demands of the people, that means they are getting paid. They're getting money. They don't want to miss out on their money. They don't want to lose their money. And so they are making very desperate, drastic decisions concerning all of this. I know that is very unnerving things, the things that are happening right now. I get that. I am bothered by the fact that things that I've ordered months ago, I still have not gotten, and they have pushed the date yet again. And at this point, I'm thinking I might cancel the order, but if I do that, that puts me further behind. So we are all being inconvenienced right now at the things that are happening. The supply chain has been drastically interrupted. It's not just a shortage of truck drivers, but so many other modes of transportation or distribution have been messed up. We have been seeing the reports, we've been hearing all of the news about this, and for some of us, it is very, very unnerving. Everyone is being affected by this, and especially with them saying that they believe that the end of this year is going to be worse than the Great Depression. Now, some of you all, when you hear this and you hear us talking about it, you think that we spend too much time on it, even though this is right in our faces, right? You know, we give you biblical perspectives all the time. We understand that this stuff was prophesied, that it must happen. We get all of that. But that doesn't mean that you don't sound the alarm. Some people are not aware of biblical prophecy, so they have no idea that there is a biblical connection. But these perilous times that the scripture spoke of, we are in them. The distress of nations with all of the shipping and the transportation and the distribution of things that we need, all of that's being interrupted. Of course, that is causing great perplexity in a lot of people. And so when we sound the alarm, it's not for you to get afraid. We're not trying to invoke fear. We're just trying to get you to do what you have to do. And I know that we can't do it all. I realize that there's going to be some things that are beyond our control, but we do the best that we can with what we have. That's really what I'm pushing for. That's all I'm advocating for, is to do the best that you can, right? And I'm certainly encouraging you not to sit still and do nothing. That's the worst thing we can do. But anyway, I want to thank Sister Monica for sharing this story with me, and all of you who share stories with us. We appreciate it. We may not be able to get to all of them, but when we can, as you see, sometimes we space it out in the day. If I get a moment early, a moment in the middle of the day, a moment in the evening, sometimes I try to get to the things that I do have time to get to, and I appreciate those of you who share with us. Very much appreciated. But anyway, as always, share your comments on this story below. And I like to urge you to keep it tight and keep it right. And what I mean by that is don't say anything that will get you blocked or banned or your comment deleted by YouTube, because they do that. Okay, there's heavy censorship going on right now on social media. So keep that in mind. Keep it tight, keep it right. But until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.